So casually keep diving into concrete. So bittersweet.
Hello there, welcome back to another video. In this one I want to talk to you about how to get your jasmine to reflower every year. Now, after I made the last jasmine video, a lot of people in the comments told me that they had one of these and it bloomed really well in the first year, but they haven't been able to get it to blossom on the second year, and they've just thrown it away, which is a real shame. So I thought I would do this video just to explain what you need to do to get this plant to flower every single year. And there are two very specific things that you need to do. So stay tuned. Firstly, after it flowers in early springtime, sort of February, March, what I do is cut back the plant at that stage, cut off the old dead jasmine blossoms, and if you keep it cool enough, you might be lucky enough to get a second blossom. That often happens with mine, which is a bonus. Now, after the blooming's finish, I put this outside after any risk of frost is gone in the UK. So as the temperatures warm up, this goes outside and it will stay outside for the entirety of the summer and the autumn. So I leave it outside, just give it regular waterings, feed it occasionally, like a half strength fertilizer is all it needs. It doesn't need too much fertilization, say once a month, something like that. Just basically keep a check on it. I don't spend that much time on it. And as it's a climbing plant, what you'll find, you'll get these sort of offsets, these shoots that come all over the place. It's like a straggly climbing plant, so that's what it will try and do. You'll get lots of them coming out periodically. If you cut them back and prune them, what will happen, for every one of the offshoots will divide into two. And so if you periodically keep pruning them back, you're going to get more and more offshoots and the plant will become more and more dense. And this is important because each one of those offshoots will produce some flowering buds later on in the year. So if you regularly prune it throughout the summer, you're going to get more and more blossoms for your jasmine plant. So something to think about as they start looking for places to climb. Then just cut them back and you'll get more and more flowers. Now, secondly, this is really important. It needs a period of cool weather. So I keep this outside into the autumn, and the temperature will go down to say 10 degrees. So what's that, 50 degrees Fahrenheit roughly. And it needs that period of cool to be able to stimulate the plant to produce the flower buds. So that's what often people will miss out on. It does need that period of cool. So I'll keep it outside, and the only time I'll bring it in is before the first frosts of the year in the winter. So that can be all the way into December. I've still got this outside and I keep an eye on the weather, and then if there's some frost coming, I bring it in. But I do have a rear porch that stays relatively cool. It has a radiator in there, but it's not on very high and it's quite a small radiator. So in the evenings, it's still going to get down to say 15 and 10 degrees at night on some of the cold nights as well. So it will remain having nice cool temperatures all the way through, and that's what this plant needs. So it will stay in my back porch there in relatively cool temperatures right up until the end of the winter, when the flower buds start to take place. It's quite an exciting time because you can see the flowers developing, and if you've pruned your jasmine throughout the season, you'll have lots and lots and lots of flower buds all over the plant. And at that stage, as the flowers start opening up, you can then move it into your living space where you want to enjoy the flowers and that amazing scent. But it is worth bearing in mind the flowers last longer in a cooler environment. So if you've got a room that's a little bit cooler, then they will last longer in that room. Now, it doesn't really matter if you just want to enjoy the plant, enjoy the flowers and the fragrance. I keep it in one of my rooms upstairs, and it is a relatively warm room at that time of year, so I know that the flowers aren't going to last as long. But even so, I guess I get 3 weeks out of it, maybe a month out of the flowering period, which is fantastic. And I'd much rather have it in the house and enjoy it every single day rather than in my back porch where they would probably last longer, but I'm not going to go in there very often. So just remember those two important things: the pruning during the summer and the cooler weather in the autumn. You need both of those to get a nice display on your jasmine. If you get those two things right, you're going to have flowers coming back year after year after year. Now, this one has been in this pot for quite a few years now. It's totally root bound. It's solid here and it's probably coming out the bottom. Let's have a look. I don't know if you can see that, but there's roots coming out the bottom as well. So, I mean, they will tolerate being fairly root bound anyway, to be honest with you. But it's a relatively small plant for outside. It's a relatively small pot for outside, but it's a fairly big one for inside. I don't really want to put it in a bigger pot, to be honest. So what I'll probably do this year is give it a bit of maintenance, do some root pruning on it. It's got this TP trellis that I've put in here, and it's getting a little bit wobbly now. So I'm going to need to give it a new trellis to climb up, give it a bit of a root prune and some fresh compost, and then this is going to be ready to go for next year. So I might video that when I eventually get round to doing it. But yeah, it's a great plant to have. I thoroughly enjoy owning this, and there's something really nice about looking forward to the flowers and the scent in sort of late winter when there's not a lot to be happy about in the UK, to be honest with you. The weather is really rubbish in January and February. It's reliably dark and gloomy and cold and wet. So this is my little pick-me-up every year. All right, that's it for this one. I hope you found it useful. Please give me a thumbs up if you have. I would appreciate that. Subscribe for more houseplant videos. And as always, I'll catch you again very soon. Bye for now.